First and foremost, I want to welcome everybody. We have had a lot of customers and a lot of peers, a lot of friends talk to us about our company culture. And that company culture has been a long time coming, but with everybody asking us about it, we really wanted to dive in and kind of share our experiences and the things that have happened throughout the lifespan of our culture build and kind of share with you guys. So the first thing I want to acknowledge is that this is a hard thing to do. This is not an easy task to build your company culture. It's not an easy task to maintain it. Things come up and you just kind of got to roll with the punches and just keep trucking along. Our company culture took about 2 years to implement. So this is not fast. It is not easy, but it is so worth the journey. So I'm Alexis. I am the CEO and sales team leader of Accounting Therapy. I have been using QuickBooks since 1998. I was 17, still in high school, still doing that. And some of the things that I love are gardening. I love traveling, and I also love solving problems. Katie, you want to do a quick intro?
Yeah, my name is Katie Hayes, and I am the accounting team leader. I also have been using QuickBooks since 1998, but I'm a year older than Alexis, so I was 18 at the time. I think my first time using QuickBooks was with an HVAC company when I was in college. So it was desktop all the way, and it was very, very clunky. So things have progressed since then. I also love to garden. I feel like that was the first thing that Alexis and I ever bonded over, was our love of gardening. We share pictures and talk about it a lot. I also love music, going to concerts with my husband and my kids. We've all got different kinds of music, but we tend to kind of plan our vacations around that. I also love helping build the accounting therapy bookkeeping team. The accounting team here, I'm really glad to be a part of developing it. So
Nice.
yeah.
Okay, so can you describe your role at Accounting Therapy? What do you do?
My role at Accounting Therapy is the bookkeeping / accounting team leader. I am responsible for some clients. I'm kind of trying to ease out of client work for the most part. I do handle a few of our bigger clients. We'll see if that lasts forever. I still like bookkeeping, but I like to focus on the team. So that's kind of where I see putting my energy, as being the best team leader I can be. I also help Alexis onboard new clients. So when we get new clients, I help her meet with them, decide what they need, and implement it, and then pass it on to my team. Or if she needs cleanups done, I'm usually a part of that in some way. But for the most part, I am trying to get to a point where I can have the time to focus on building my team, making them confident. I really want to enable them to make decisions that they feel confident about, and I want to grow them so they don't need me. That's my goal, is for them not to
train yourself right out of a job.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
you taught me was, you like it when I can make decisions. You feel like I can make decisions on your behalf a lot of the time, and that's what I'm trying to do for them as well.
Absolutely. So I know when you were looking for a job, coming out of school and, going into the accounting world and whatnot, I know when you were looking for a job, you kind of narrowed it down to 2 firms at the end of the day.
Yeah.
What made you pick Accounting Therapy?
Well, at that time, I got to be really choosy about what job I wanted to take, because I was only looking for something part-time. And as you know, that totally worked out in the long run. No, I moved into full-time pretty quickly because I ended up loving it here. But I got to be really choosy. And so I got to delve deep into just kind of like a gut feeling I had about both places. They were both great. They both offered me a lot of different things, but it was just a feeling I got about how you and Taylor Ammons, who was our chief operating officer kind of role, she was the one who did a lot of the interviewing with me when I first started. And I really liked the way that she made me feel. She made me feel like I could be a part of something and be heard, I guess, for lack of better words. I liked the laid back atmosphere. I liked that you guys were growing. I liked that you were dynamic. I liked that you seemed to have your poop in a group, I guess. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, I just felt like everything seemed like it was coming together. And I think at that time I was kind of your guinea pig for rolling out a lot of these processes that you guys
Yep.
had been building for years. I think I was your first hire after you kind of officially rolled out a lot of those processes.
You
So
were, and
yeah,
it was terrifying and exciting at the
yeah,
same time. It was like we got
yeah,
all these plans, but like, okay, we do not want to fail Katie. We
yeah,
want to make sure that she's getting exactly what she's signing up
yeah,
for. So
yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I feel like I have. So
I that makes me happy.
yeah,
So once you were hired, I mean, maybe this is even pre-hire.
yeah,
So when you were looking for an accounting firm, like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go do the accounting thing.
yeah.
What was your initial expectation of working for an accounting firm?
I think at that point that I started working here, my only real experience with like bookkeeping and accounting was either like doing it for one company or doing it for my friends and family. I kind of had a side hustle at the time. I mean, I still do, but it's just, you know,
Yeah.
a couple people I help out here or there. But I wasn't, when you see accounting, you think of like what you see on TV, which is like stuffy people wearing suits going into an office with like real formal people and clients who are angry all the time. Um, and there's nothing wrong with that kind of formality, but it wasn't for me. And that's part of the reason why I wanted like a remote job, I think, is because I didn't want to experience that.
Yeah.
Obviously it definitely was not like that. We were very quirky here and very laid back. So that I think that was my expectation, was like a lot of corporate BS, you know, just
Yeah.
your stereotypical corporate BS.
So is that what you got? Just kidding.
Yes, entirely. No, not at all. I mean, well, I think our processes are pretty like darn good, though. I
Yeah,
think
for
we got
sure.
that narrowed down. It's definitely room for opinions and to be yourself. To
For
be,
sure. Yeah, that's 100% what I want. I
yep,
want people to be who they are.
yeah,
I want them to, do what they believe in and all that kind of fun stuff.
yep,
So during the hiring process, when you were working with Taylor and maybe even myself, and honestly,
yeah.
I don't remember, but how was the company culture described to you, or was it?
Um, so we tried to nail down the core values first. So I think it was described to me as like bringing together, our mission is bringing together, part of our mission is bringing together kind, fun loving, open-minded individuals. And so I think that was definitely like part of it. I guess when we were onboarding, I felt like that you definitely brought that to the table. So I feel like everything that was described to me before I started, I kind of got to see it in fruition by the way that you and Taylor interacted with both me and the other team. There was always just a lot of respect there and a lot of room for opinions. I don't think I've ever said my opinion on something and that has just been completely dismissed. Doesn't mean you're going to use my opinion on things, but I just feel valued.
Yeah,
So
not all my opinions are used either. I get shut
yeah,
down too.
yeah,
I mean, that's just part of being on the team.
yeah,
Yeah. So, was there anything specifically besides, the connection you had with Taylor and myself? Was there
yeah.
anything like specific that was like, that's the company? That's who I want
Um,
to work for.
um, I think part of it was looking at your website and seeing the way that you described your interactions with both your employees and your clients was something that I thought was really cool. And also the way that you talked about your clients made me feel like you actually cared about them. And I know you probably know this, but if you care about your clients, you tend to like want to do better for your clients. And,
Absolutely.
and and even when you have to give a client away, and I know that because I feel like that now, you get really kind of sad.
Yeah.
And it would show. It would be when someone would be training me on somebody and they'd be about to offboard it to me, like you get kind of sad.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was definitely something that's always stuck out in my mind, was like, okay, these people actually really care about their clients. It was nice to see.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we do. We definitely care for sure.
Yeah,
So, let's see. So I know that during the onboarding process, we have a pretty in-depth process on day one where we go through everything
yeah.
within, our culture, our processes, all the things. How do you feel that initial, I guess, brain dump to you on who we are and what we do and what we try to represent? how did that like impact you and your view of the company that you're now working for?
Honestly, it was a bit overwhelming at first because it seems like such a almost a pie-eyed ideal when you look at our culture and our core values. Like that can't be real, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody's that good. But then you start realizing that when you're faced with conflict, if you just kind of can remember our core values and our mission, it actually helps you to solve all your problems. So like fast forward a couple of years and it's like, okay, now I understand why this stuff was like kind of hammered into me so badly when I first started working here, is because you actually do use these things to how to approach your clients, how to approach your team members, how to approach your leaders. Everything that they brain dumped on you the first couple of days ends up coming around. So
Yeah.
it is a bit overwhelming. And I realize that because I've done a lot of onboarding this year with
Yes,
other
you
people.
have.
That it is like you can kind of see, I wouldn't say that they glaze over, but I can say I wouldn't expect them to remember it. But I do remember
Oh yeah.
reading our core values and be like, there's no way. There's no way that this company can be that cool. But you are. It's amazing. So I'm really happy that this is actually true. So I guess when I'm doing the onboarding with new people, I really try to sell it as much as I can.
Yeah.
As
Yeah,
I
it
do.
definitely helps the sell when, when we're in our teams meetings and we're like, okay, Katie, you got to run your day, or,
Yeah.
treat everybody like your favorite aunt,
Yeah.
or, those kinds of
The
things.
honesty and transparency. I feel like you and I use that a lot when we're doing problem solving. Because it's like, okay,
Absolutely.
how can we fix this? Well, maybe we should just reach out and tell them what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Honesty and transparency. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah. We try to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we've gotten, when you were brought in, it was very brand new. So we were still kind of building on it, but I think it's just part of our natural accounting therapy conversations now.
True. It's true. Like we kind of throw those core values out all the time, casually, just like I said, problem solving. It's really
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
It
Exactly.
helps.
So, what about the accounting therapy culture surprised you the most when you came in? Like which core value, or
I'm not so sure that it's a core value thing, but I think what surprised me, I know what surprised me the most was how much, and it's kind of scary sometimes, but how much faith you have in me and my abilities. Sometimes I'm like, I can't believe that she just said that, because you're a lot of times like, you got this. Like, I trust your opinion. You say that all the time to me. And it's like, wow, Alexis really believes in me. And I don't know, it makes me feel like I'm empowered to make decisions because I don't want to disappoint you, but you also give me so much autonomy and I love it.
well, you have to have faith in people for them to
Yeah,
have faith in themselves. Like
yeah.
that's just part of
I've never experienced that before. I feel like I've been kind of, and I mean, maybe not so much micromanagers, but I just think it's, a lot of times your bosses end up being like micromanagers.
Mhm.
And that's just because they want it to be done a specific way. I get that. But I think what's really cool is you realize that there's more than one way to do things. So it's like, okay, maybe I don't do it the way that you do it, but ultimately it's the same result. So I think I understand what you want the result to be, and you trust in the process that I use to get that result.
Yeah,
So that's
I
what's experienced.
yeah, I fully believe that everybody on my team is smarter than I am at this point.
I don't know about that,
I
but
can guide you guys. I can help you guys, but you guys are in the weeds. You guys, you got the
challenging
skills
every
that yeah, you guys got skills I don't have anymore. I have to trust you.
yeah,
And I don't
I
want to
appreciate it.
micromanage. I got enough to do.
No, and you don't have time for that, and I don't feel free with that. And it's made me have a lot of confidence. Like, okay, Alexis and Taylor believe in me. I can do
Do
this. Like, I
100%.
can do hard things.
Yeah. Well, even the newbies coming in, like I believe in them too.
Yeah,
They've done nothing to break my trust yet.
yeah,
You know what I
totally.
mean?
Mhm.
So you got to believe in people for them
Yeah,
to
and
believe in themselves.
sometimes you
That's
just
where
gotta
success
throw
comes
them out there a
from.
little
Yeah.
bit and see, because I think what that's done is challenge me to do things that maybe would make me feel uncomfortable normally. But because you believe in me, I'm like, okay, if she thinks I can do this, then I can do this. So it wouldn't be something that I'd reach for naturally, but because you believe that I can do it, then I at least give it a try. If I totally hate it, you won't ever make me do it again. That's part of the reason why I love working here. But for the most part, like all the things you've made me do that have been a little bit uncomfortable, like I end up kind of liking a lot of the time. It's crazy. So thank you.
You're welcome. So you talked about when we first started, when we were doing the onboarding with you, how it was kind of crammed down your throat. And I'm sure there was a lot of it. You were like, yeah, whatever.
Maybe a little.
Yeah. But what is there like a specific event that happened either at work or at home or, anywhere in between that was like, oh yeah, these people really practice what they preach? Was there like a specific thing where you're like, yep, these people aren't BSing me?
I think probably the one I use the most, which is the one we just talked about, which is our core value of honesty and transparency, make you valuable. A lot of times I won't know how to solve something and you'll say that and just encourage me to talk to the client about it. And it like always turns out okay.
Yeah.
It always turns out okay. Like it's weird. It's just, these are just human beings interacting with each other. And because we practice what we preach, I think they trust us. And so it's, I'd say that was definitely a big one for me. And also just like the ability to like own and run your day is just so important when you've got a family.
Yeah.
So, I think you guys have really enabled me to be able to like have work-life balance because I'm able to control my day as long as I get my job done. You guys don't really, I mean, you care, but you don't like stuff it down my throat. You're like, as long as you get it done within certain parameters, you can live your life. And there's never been a time where I've been like, I need to do this. And anyone said, no, you can't, or you need to decide, between your kids and your job or something like that. It's not like the 80s.
No.
People had to do that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I'm really, really glad that we don't embrace that kind of culture, that things have changed. So
yeah. We're all people. We all have families. We all have lives. Yeah. So, was there anything that you were anticipating, like something happened and you were like, oh my God, how is this going to happen? How am I going to get through this? Whatever it might be. And it just turned out to be so much easier because of the culture that was set in place.
Yeah, I think, hiring was one of them. Hiring has been, kind of a work at, I think I'm an old pro at it now, but it was kind of, hard at first to find good candidates, but then you have to like kind of try to take the pieces of that and try to see if these people fit into these different roles. So I think our culture has been absolutely at the forefront of my mind during hiring. So I think that part definitely was huge. And I have been able to take that and kind of use it to not sum people up, I guess, in a way. I don't mean that to sound like callous, but I do think you have to use those core values and those ideas in our mission to see if like these people can fit into this round shaped box, I guess, or this unique box. So I've really appreciated that to help me. It's not just like they check all the boxes of all the technical stuff. It's like the more of the softer things. So
yeah, it makes it a lot easier to bring them into your firm because they already have the core values, or they know our expectations of their core values when they're coming in. So, they need to have respect for time. They need to be honest and transparent. They need to be nice people that, treat everybody like their favorite aunt. They have to kind of have those things. So if you have a conversation with somebody and it's like, I'm not sure that person, or they're late to a meeting. It's like, no, you need to run your day. Like those kinds of things.
That's true.
So it's like an additional layer for hiring, but it makes the transition into the team a whole lot easier because they're already there. You can train technical, you cannot train personality.
Yep. Like exactly. That's been a hard lesson to learn, but it's a good lesson to learn. So I'm hoping I get better and better at it as I grow my team. So
you will. You're always going to get better.
I hope
so. Okay, so how this might be kind of a repeat based on what our conversation said, but how has that culture view that you have within accounting therapy grown? And what do you attribute to that growth?
I think our culture has helped me grow by, or I think I said earlier, it helps enable me to be able to make decisions.
Yeah.
If I just apply our culture to the hard decisions I need to make, it's the answer is usually pretty obvious. So it definitely helps me interact with my team, help them interact with clients. Like I'm always constantly bringing it up whenever they're deciding what they need to say. I think that I wouldn't say that the culture's changed. I think we've just gotten better at it.
Yeah, yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I think now that I feel like I'm like really a part of this team, not just like the new guy being like, hey guys, over here. I think that it's been awesome to see how we've taken that and kind of implemented it into all of the things accounting therapy. So I mean, I hope that answered that question.
Yeah, 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 for sure. There's no
Yeah.
wrong answers here. It's interesting because I didn't anticipate this, but a lot of what you kind of are mentioning in these core values is the hard decisions. And I don't think that's anything that we even thought about in regards to why we're building our core values.
Yeah.
Honesty and transparency for us when we were initially building it was internally. Let us know if if you're having a problem with getting a reconciliation done, or
Yeah.
let us know if you don't understand direction, or whatever it might be.
Mhm.
But it's interesting how it's kind of formed into this, like, it's also just bite the bullet, have the hard conversation with the
Yeah.
client, or have the hard conversation with the vendor, or whatever it might be.
Yep.
It just is what it is. So it's kind
True.
of cool seeing how we've implemented this like idea of honesty and transparency, and it's kind of taken over more things than we even imagined that it would.
It's true. It basically sets company morals. It's like,
Yeah,
you've got your internal morals and then you've got your company morals. So if our core values are our company morals, then decisions should be easy.
yeah,
That's the way
yeah.
that it should be.
That's a
Like
really good.
your morals, your personal decisions should be easy, right? Because answers should be somewhat obvious. I know sometimes you have to like get there, but if you know your personal morals, your life decisions should be easy. And I think it's the same thing with business.
Yeah,
So
I love that. I love
yeah.
that. Love that. Love that. Okay, so let's do some wrap up questions. We have
Okay.
6 minutes left.
Since we had our technical difficulties at the
Yeah.
beginning. Yeah.
So now this is kind of more opinion stuff. So after being a part of accounting there, I mean, obviously you've been in the world of working for, 20 plus years. No,
Yeah.
probably more than that. Anyways, how important do you think core values are, establishing a intentional core values within a business?
I mean, I think it's essential. I think if you don't, people are just floundering. They don't
Yeah.
know, they don't know who they are supposed to be at work. They don't know what their role is or why. I mean, I think without core values and missions, you don't like why are you doing it? You're doing it to make money. Well, you can do that anywhere.
Yeah. You can get a
Make
job and
money
do that and live somebody
Yeah.
else's core values.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I think it's definitely a worthwhile endeavor to develop your core values. And like you were saying at the beginning, I know that it takes time, but you have to really do some like introspective work and decide what's valuable to you and what should be valuable to your company. And then if you don't develop that, yeah, then you just have people showing up for work.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So wrap up question.
Okay.
So we all know that company culture is a part of a company, whether it is intentional or not.
Okay.
So what advice would you give somebody else trying to build out their core values?
Um, Probably that there has to be some kind of incentives besides money. If money's your motivator, then you should be looking at the top of the line, whatever that you can do. But if you're not developing out your culture, then I don't understand why people would want to be loyal to you, because you could do this anywhere for more money if that's your motivator. So I just think like developing a culture, it's not just developing a culture, it's being that culture. Because
Yeah.
anyone can say whatever they want to say. Someone can steal your core values and probably will or have. And say, these are our core values, but like if they're not doing those things or encouraging their team to do those things, then they're just words.
Yeah.
So it's not only like, it's really having to be true to yourself. You should really come up with your own mission, vision, core values, or else I think people are just going to see right through it. It's just something that's on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
So I think take the time, develop it, decide who you really are, who you want to be, and what you see for your company. And then you'll get, if you get the right people to help you get there, then everything just kind of comes into place. So,
Yeah.
which hopefully is happening for you. I think it is.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell you guys this all the time. Like, if we lived on the same block, we would have barbecues every Sunday. Like, you guys are my people, like friends, family, like the whole 9 yards. Like, I love everything about this team. I thoroughly enjoy coming to work. I do not cringe when people call me and they're like, oh, I need help, or, whatever it might be. Like, yes, let me help you so you can go on and do this thing with your team or your clients or whatever it might be. No,
Yeah.
I absolutely love everything about this company. Everything. So any other last words? Anything you want to add? Anything I missed?
No, I mean, I love being a part of this team, so I don't think this would have happened if you guys hadn't developed out this whole thing. So my advice to anybody else is just like to do it, like put the time in. I know it's not your ROI in the long run is probably much better anyway, because your ROI is getting good people to work for you.
Yeah.
So
And being happy within your business.
yeah. Yep. And having happy employees makes them want to stay and work hard and do a good job. So it's worthwhile.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Katie. You have been amazing as always. And I guess that's all. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.